why not hiring Venezuela Insider is a negligent activity. Today we discuss.
Welcome to Venezuela Insider, the only place in Venezuela for expats, digital nomads, entrepreneurs, investors, travelers, and related internationals. For more information, venezuelainsider.com.
If you take into account the BPL analysis, this is a formula used in order to calculate the cost of not taking certain actions that is used a lot, the word of insurance, manufacturing, and so on. And using this methodology, you have the burden of doing or not doing something, the probability of loss, and actually the gravity of the loss itself. So many times when you not take action or you take action and without applying certain insurance, what ends up happening is you have an event, a great impact event that you don't take into account that causes a lot of course, a lot of pain, loss of money, loss of time, and so on and so on. Basically, a catastrophic effect. So many times, many of you, you are from abroad, especially from a Western nation, and you want to do something in Venezuela, some particular endeavor, like investing, visiting, dating, whatever might be the case, and you guys don't take certain precautions that usually costs you a lot of time, a lot of money, causes a lot of frustration, and at the end you pay with your time, with your money, with your patience, and so on. And by the way, I'm not doing this video because I'm promoting my business, my service, because of course I am responsible to promote my business and my service. However, I don't do it, I don't like the traditional corporative marketing and so on, but I'm doing this video is because most of the time I help hundreds of international clients in order to get the best ROI of Venezuela regarding budget, regarding investing, regarding even dating, because there is a risk. And believe me, dating in Venezuela or any place else without knowing what you're doing is a very negligent endeavor. And Venezuela is no exception. So many times, I help hundreds of clients reduce thousands of dollars just paying small fees. And by the end, they are happy, they are content, or even in some cases, they don't attend it at all because they know genuinely the true cost of taking action. And at the end, they decided, no, let's just not pursue that. Let's go someplace else. Maybe Venezuela is not for me. I'm very good on that regard. But you have certainty, you have better probabilities if you know what you're doing. Many times I've been contacted by many internationals and they are in a particular situation because they took action without knowing what they're doing, and what ended up happening is they got scammed or they just overpaid for something that actually was cheaper, and because they didn't know the right strategy or they didn't get to know the market, so took a poor financial decision. Or regarding dating, well, there's a lot of scams regarding dating. But the thing is that most of the time regarding all of the situation is not like they directly contact scammers or people with bad behavior. It's just they put themselves on a precarious situation where in order to solve such situation, you have to pay something, you have to pay a premium, you have to pay an extra. That is not the case. It's not preferable to do so. So what you want to do is take some precautions, having a strategic planning, and after that, taking the steps in order to have the best approach regarding ROI, budgeting, and time saving. And also internationals, something that they don't understand about Venezuela. First, they think that Venezuela is like Mexico. So something about, Western internationals, they think that the whole Latin America is like Mexico. Venezuela is not Mexico. It's quite different. So many people think that because they just visited Cancun a couple times and they have some catchy phrases in Spanish that they laugh with their close friends and family, but they don't speak the language and they take the wrong direction on that regard, especially on the mindset of how things work. For instance, regarding business in Venezuelan company, this is something that I said a bunch of times, but I'm going to say it yet again, is that Venezuelan business is not catered toward internationals compared to, for example, Mexico. Mexico have a bunch of real estate agencies and fancy hotels and fancy restaurants and fancy touristic activities and so on and so on. So having international clients, especially from Western North American clients, is a valuable commodity for those businesses. In Venezuela, it's not the case because business here in Venezuela is not catered towards internationals. It's catered towards high-end Venezuelans. We have the situation on macroeconomics is that we have a lot of wealth inequality on the country. You have 90% of the population is just impoverished. You have something less than 10% of a middle class in Venezuela. And then you have a very handful of people, that less than 1%, that they are very rich. They are millionaires, they're very wealthy. And I'm not going to talk about how they got wealthy. That's a discussion for another day. The point is, they are wealthy. So they are the ones they can purchase, they have the discretionary income in order to buy real estate and go to fancy vacations, stay on high-end hotels, nice restaurants, and so on. So businesses are catered towards them because it doesn't matter the price. If they want to purchase a particular asset, or a particular service, they can just afford it, and that's it. Meanwhile, what happens with internationals, and this is the feedback that I'm getting from many business owners and small entrepreneurs and some acquaintances, is that they don't care about international clients, especially on real estate. Because, this is something regarding the kind of internationals that are arriving to the country. Remember, it's very, very hard for an American and a Canadian in order to get a tourist visa. So most internationals are from Western Europe and from Russia. And usually these people, what I'm seeing right now, is these are not the desired clients because it's more profitable for most business, not for mine, because my business, of course, is catered towards internationals, but 99% of business in Venezuela are catered towards the high-end Venezuelans because those are the ones that can afford the prices here in Venezuela. Also, yet again, Venezuela is not a cheap place, so don't mind about it. And what happened is, it's more difficult for them. I'm talking for my acquaintances in business in Venezuela. It's more difficult for them to deal with a European that usually, and their words, not mine, are deemed as cheap, as frugal, and difficult to deal with. Meanwhile, the good Venezuelan client, the wealthy Venezuelan, is, cut the BS and just pays, and it's a smooth transition, and that's it. That's not my mindset, but it's the mindset of many Venezuelan business operators. Also, I have to mention yet again, regarding investing, is that in Venezuela, you are not going to have the lazy investment approach that you can just dollar cost average a cheap ETF like you do on the S&P 500 or with crypto or with the gold and silver. So it's not like that. You need active investing. And if you want to, for instance, buy a stock or something like that, the Venezuelan stock market, you're not going to get rich with the Venezuelan stock market. We do have a market, but it's only for Venezuelan nationals, not for Westerns and internationals. And getting access to that market is very difficult, and I will say it's not worth your while. Also, I have to mention bureaucracy. Bureaucracy in Venezuela is a pain on the rear end to deal with. For a Venezuelan, it's very hard. For internationals, it's next to impossible to navigate. Bureaucracy, red tape, is one of the worst things about Latin America. On the rest of Latin America, it's very bad by itself. However, in Venezuela, it's a nightmare. It's next to impossible. And understanding the bureaucracy and the red tape in Venezuela is not something that you can just Google your way or use AI and an app or something, or chat GPT, or even this is something that I'm seeing occasionally, that they want to bribe their way out. That it doesn't work like that, because they think, Venezuela is a terrible country with a lot of corrupt bureaucrats. And well, I'm not going to say It's not exactly the case, but it's not how it works. So you can just go and bribe someone, and please don't do it. Never try to bribe anyone. Do everything legally. So I'm seeing a lot of mistakes. When you make those mistakes regarding bureaucracy, that can be a kiss of death regarding Venezuela. Lastly, I have to end this with daily. Yet again, there is a lot of, there's a mindset, I have to say, that many gentlemen from abroad think that Venezuela is just a house of females from the oldest profession, and you know what I mean. And they think it's like that. It doesn't work like that. Of course, like every female on the world, Venezuelan females, of course, are more prone to choose wealthy men than poor men. It is what it is, just like in the rest of the world. Or if you think that they're just a transactional thing, is not gonna help you, because especially with the beautiful Venezuelan women, those women have options. So if you think that you can just come here because you have an European passport or an Anglo-American passport, and that's it's not gonna cut it. Because these women, they may not be rich or anything, but they have options with the top percent of Venezuelan earners on regarding the wealth inequality, and they have access to those men. So if you come here because you are middle class in, I don't know, in Germany or in Kansas or in Birmingham, and it's not going to work that way. And also you are doing a disservice to yourself. So this video, I know this different than the content that I usually produce. However, I had to make this video because I'm getting a lot of feedback from clients, from subscribers, and many internationals that they are not understanding the situation. So at the end, they waste their time, they waste their money, they don't get what they're looking for. So please, this is just a food for thought video. Analyze it if you're thinking doing something in Venezuela.
Thank you for watching Venezuela Insider. Please like, share, and subscribe. Follow us on social media. If you want to work with us, VenezuelaInsider.com. Thanks again, and have a nice day.